What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're doing another pick'em videos. Now, I'm a little bit late to Thursday Night Football again, but I just decided to make it just in time. So I'm gonna do the pick'ems for Thursday Night Football. Then I'm gonna be switching to the ESPN one. So first of all, let's do the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks has been hot as of late, so the first game hasn't done really well, but the last three games they played really well. So, and then the Cardinals, they've been playing fine, but they really should have won against the 49ers because the 49ers has been injured, and there's everything about this is kind of interesting. But anyway, so I'm going to say that the who I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick the Seahawks to win this game. Um, Picking them to win this game. Next up, we got the next up we got the let's just do in this playoff predictor for this week. We got the Vikings versus the Steelers. The Vikings have a really strong win against the Bengals, and then the Steelers, they have a okay win against the Patriots. I'm gonna say the Steelers are gonna win this game. I just think that the defense gotta play a little bit better. I do think that they can slow down Carson Wentz. I have to see what Carson Wentz actually is really against a pretty good defense. I know the Steelers defense is not that great right now, but I have to see what Carson Wentz does. I don't think he's gonna do terrible, but we gotta wait and see how this team's gonna go. Um, so let's go to let's just go right here. Uh, we got the um, we got the Panthers versus the Patriots. This should be an interesting game. You got two young teams, and it could go either way. To be honest, I can see these two either one of these games win. I do think this is one of the more underrated games out there. I'm gonna say the Patriots slightly, just because they have the higher potential. But I won't be surprised if the Panthers win. It's pretty much a coin toss of this game. I'm gonna pick the Patriots. The Chargers put the Giants. The Giants gonna start Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's kind of washed at this point. He probably is gonna retire. But I'm gonna say, but Jackson Dart, I do think he's gonna do fine, but he may see some rookie mistake struggles. And against the Chargers defense, which is a really good defense, I'm gonna say the Chargers are gonna win this game. They're the better team right now. Next up, the Saints versus. I'm picking the Bills to win. The Saints are not a good team. Let's just just say what it is. What it is. The Saints are not a good team. The Bills will easily win this game. The Browns versus the Lions. I'm gonna pick the Lions. I could see the Browns defense to keep the Lions to like a to get a little closer on the point on preventing some big time points. But at the same time, the Lions' offense is just better. The Browns, is questionable right here. So I'm gonna say the Lions gonna win over the Browns. The Colts versus the Rams. This should be a really good, interesting matchup. Um, I'm gonna say, and then the Colts, they have to kind of. This is gonna be a big test here. Now they don't have to win this game to prove, but I'm gonna say they have to be more competitive to see if they can keep up with the good teams. Right now, I mean, they beat the Broncos, yes, but they beat some weak teams. Like, for example, they beat the Dolphins. Dolphins are not a good team. And then also they beat the Titans. So this is going to be a big test here. But I'm going to say the Rams are going to win this game. The Jaguars versus the 49ers. I'm going to pick the 49ers. The Jaguars, the offense is not there yet. The defense is doing good, but I'm going to say the offense, they need some work to do. So I'm going to say the 49ers are going to win this game. Although I don't be surprised if the Jaguars win. I'm not sure if Brock Purdy is actually going to play. If he's playing, then this is for sure going to that I'm more confident. But if Mac Jones playing, I could see a pick for the Dolphins. But either way, I'm going to say the 49ers. The Bears versus the Raiders. Both teams are 1-2. They gotta have to win some more games. I'm gonna say the Raiders are gonna pack up. I know they struggle against the Commanders, but I mean the Bears defense is worse. And I'm gonna say that the Bears are still a work in progress. They won. They have a pretty solid win against the Cowboys, but I had to see more of the Bears to prove that they are a really good team. Next up, the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. This should be a good matchup. Um, the Eagles came up with a crazy comeback against the Rams. Which I'm not happy about that. But for the Eagles, it's really good. But the Buccaneers, they keep getting a clutch moment. Even though last week they almost choke it away, but they win. I'm gonna say the Eagles are gonna win this game. They're gonna start on 4-0. The Commanders versus the Falcons. I have to see. I'm gonna say the offense is gonna improve more and more and more. For then last week. Last week was a disaster. The Commanders. Let's see how Jane Daniels is gonna play. I'm gonna assume Jane Daniels is gonna play, and I'm gonna say they're gonna beat the Commanders. Um, so I'm gonna assume that Jane Daniels is gonna play, but if he didn't play, I'm gonna say the Falcons might win. Um, I do think they might do better. Um, Titans versus Texans. Battle of 0-3 teams. Texans have to go right on track, as the Titans. Titans kind of been not being has been hold down by coaching. I'm gonna say the Texans are gonna win this game. I do think they're gonna need a much needed win. The Titans, they can make it interesting, but I just don't trust their head coach. I just think that you really need to fire Brian Callahan. If they have like a competent head coach, I really could see them being the Texans. But you need a competent head coach right there. The Ravens versus the Chiefs, both of them are currently 1-2, and the loser are gonna go 1-3, which is insane. But the Chiefs offensively have kind of been struggling a bit. The Ravens are not a bad team, but the defense is kind of questionable. I do think the Ravens are going to win this game, though. You know, I do think that I predict them to make the Super Bowl, but they kind of have a disappointing start to the season. If I'm being honest with you, but I'm gonna say they're gonna beat the Chiefs, which the Chiefs are gonna project it to be 0-3, not 0-3, 1-3, which is crazy. Let's go into Monday Night Football. The Packers versus the Cowboys. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. I do think Michael Parsons is gonna have a huge revenge game against his old team, the Cowboys. And I'm gonna say that the Packers are gonna be winning handily. Right there. Jets. I mean, these two on Monday Night Football, they're not really great games. Let's be honest, they're not great games. The Jets versus the Dolphins. This is a terrible matchup for Monday Night Football. It really should not be on Monday Night Football. Let's just be honest with you. If I had to pick a game, which should it be on Monday Night Football? I don't know. Maybe the Eagles, Buccaneers, or I don't know, or maybe the Rams and the Colts. Those should be better matchups. But anyways, we just got this. The Jets versus the Dolphins. Two bad teams. 0-3 versus 0-3. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins to win. I do think the offense is better than the Jets offense, but it's not much better. The defense, both of the defense are terrible. It is really been. This is really a bad matchup. I'm sorry, but this is a bad matchup, right there. And then we got the Bengals versus the Broncos. I'm gonna pick the Broncos. I do think the offense should be a little bit better in this game compared to the Vikings game, but it should not. But at the same time, the Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, he has played good as of late. Um, I'm gonna say the Broncos should be able to win this game, and yeah, so there you have it. So you can see the record right here. If my projection is right, these should be the record of what those teams are. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Now see you guys next time.